We live in this consumerism culture. It's the reality. Okay, hate it or love it. We live in this culture where it's all about the Instagram flex. What nice stuff can I have? What can I show off on Instagram? What does my friend post on Instagram? Do I have nice stuff like them? And this is the system that we're in. And it's good if you understand the system, because now you can be a producer in the system. It's bad if you don't understand the system, because now you're the one being screwed over by the system. And so what I'm trying to get at is, instead of trying to fight the system, learn the system. That way you can use it to your advantage. Yeah. This is what financial education is all about, because this is how it works. It's like gravity. Okay, it's around us. It is there. It is happening. It has been happening, and it's going to continue to happen even after you're gone. So you might as well learn it. That way you can make the best situation for yourself, for your family, and your community. Because, I grew up being told, don't worry about money. Don't talk about money. Money is bad. Money is evil, and it rots people. This is the mindset that I grew up with. My parents are immigrants from a state in India called Punjab. They came to this country with very little. My dad had less than $100 when he came to America.
Wow.
He didn't speak English. Life was very different in Punjab, especially then. They grew up very poor. My grandparents were refugees. They got kicked out of their homes when they were teenagers. My grandfather literally slept on the streets because he had no home, because there was like riots, looting, all this stuff happening. He had to fight for his life, literally. And with that type of immigrant mindset, you want your kids to become successful.
Yeah.
And what does that translate to? Well, for my parents, like many other immigrant parents, it's your kid should become a doctor. Why a doctor? Because when you're a doctor, it comes with a lot of prestige. It comes with the status, and it comes with a big salary and safety. And so you assume that if you're a doctor, you're at the top of the food chain. Everything is going to be fine. You're going to live a great life, and you're not going to have to worry about things like money, like your parents did. And so that's the whole mindset. And that's what I was told. Don't worry about all these things. Don't worry about investing and all this other stuff that my parents had no idea about. Instead, just go and become a doctor, because now you're going to be great and everything's going to be just fine. Well, along the way, I realized that there's a lot more to life than becoming a doctor. And there's a lot more to money than just earning a big salary. And that was the turning point for me to become financially educated, because unfortunately, many people follow a career just for the money. Many people become doctors just for the money. I almost became one of those people. Now, don't get me wrong. I love helping people. It is a part of my culture, and it's a part of me.
Mm-hmm.
I love helping people. It is something that morally I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, medicine is you're helping people, but you're also getting paid for it, right? It's not community service by being a doctor. Like, you are doing it for payment, right? So
exactly.
If I want to help as many people as I can as a doctor, this is where my brain string started to get pulled upon. I want to help people as a doctor, but I also want to maximize my revenue, because I'm starting to think financially. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean that I'm going to have to maximize my patients, perhaps sacrifice the quality of work that I do? But morally, that doesn't seem right. So I'm starting to face this like big war internally, where maybe I'm not doing this for the right reasons. And that's also kind of when I fell upon financial education and investing and entrepreneurship. And I realized, wow, there's so many other ways to earn, and there's so many other ways for me to give. So it's that difference. And it all starts with the mindset of, how do we look at money? How does money play an aspect in our lives? And how do we want money to flow in our lives? And this is all regarding, starts with that mindset.
This is like what you build your financial education, intelligence, and standpoint from, is like, what's your mindset? And then what's your lifestyle? So what I'm hearing is that you love what you do so much, and you've clearly had so much traction and success as a result. So do you get energy from doing what you do?
Yes. And what's funny is, I think people see me as successful because of the brand that I built on YouTube, what's called Minority Mindset. Mm-hmm. And what's funny is, when I started Minority Mindset, I had no intention of making money. I was doing it as a hobby because I was working on a different company at the time, which was my real time commitment and my, I don't want to say purpose, but that's where my energy was going. Mm-hmm. I was running a sock company that I created. And during the launch, I got screwed over. I got scammed by a fake marketing company that took a few $1,000s.
Damn.
And I got upset. But I think when someone has the entrepreneurial bug, you're like, okay, I'm upset. Let me go to the gym. Now what do I do? And for me, it was like, okay, either I'm going to sit here and cry about it, or let me do something, because entrepreneurship is one of those things that I had to do it in secret, because if my parents found out that I was running, businesses, they were not going to be happy, because it had nothing to do with me becoming a doctor. True story. So I ran all of my early businesses from high school through college in secret. And when I launched the sock company, I got screwed over, and I was like just frustrated because I had no support. I never had a mentor. I never knew kind of where to go. I would always get my education from books, and I hated reading books until I started reading business books. So that was when I was like, let me try to create something to help other people like me. So I put out a class on this platform called Udemy on how to launch a business without getting screwed over. I put it out for like $7. I don't really care about making money. It was just a way for me to like put out some education to help people who were in a similar situation, because I got screwed over. So the class did really well. And I did it under the alias minority mindset, just because I thought differently than the majority of people.
That's awesome.
And and the class did well, and people were like, oh my God, this is so cool. Can you create a social media page? And I was like, sure. So I created an Instagram page called Minority Mindset, where I essentially did the same thing. I made posts on like just basic things that I wish I knew about, business and money management and stuff like that. And I was making these posts on Instagram, and people would send me DMs and comments saying, would you mind starting a blog? Because like, this is really long and it's hard to read on Instagram. Like, just start a blog. And I was like, you don't want me to start a blog. Like, English is my second language. You're not going to enjoy that. So no, but I don't mind talking. So I'll make YouTube videos. And then slowly Minority Mindset started to grow. And I made the decision to shut down my other company and focus on Minority Mindset, not because I was making more money, but because I enjoyed it way more. When you do your passion, and then kind of, for me, I led with value, and the money came, kind of followed.
Yes.
And that's why here at the Minority Mindset companies, one of our core values is lead with value. Always just provide value, and then focus on that, and the money will follow.
I kind of want to distill this down to like a nugget for people, because what I've found is that the things that are your purpose and calling, and that you'll do really well, are the things that give you energy versus take energy. It's the things that you love and that fuel you, and that you do as your side hustle, like you kind of did, that they talk about so much in the business world, a side hustle. That's your real purpose, and that's a good navigation tool to know like what you should and shouldn't do.
Exactly. And we kind of have a running joke here in our office here, because I don't drink coffee. I drink tea, and my team here has like a running joke that if I had coffee, like I would just go off the walls berserk. They keep the coffee away from me.
Do they think you double your output?
I did. I think they think I'd double my output, and I'd require double from them as well. So they're like, keep the coffee away.
What is money?
That's
like, I have question. These fantasies about living off the grid and exchanging services for life. Like, why couldn't that be possible?
Yeah.
And so what's money?
That's a great question.
What's its purpose?
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
That's a multi-part question. So let's go like maybe a little bit philosophical to a little bit more technical.
Cool.
So philosophically, money is freedom. We don't care about having dollars. We don't care about having cash. Like, that doesn't do anything for us. Like, if you had $10 million of cash, but the cash, no one is there to buy it, and you can't buy anything with it, it doesn't do anything. It's just a piece of paper that's taking up space. Sure. So we don't technically want that cash. We want what money can buy, which for many of us is freedom. Sure, maybe you might think, oh, but I want a Lambo, I want this, I want that. Yeah, I mean, those things can be nice, and money can buy you that too. But for most people, we want freedom. We want the freedom to be able to live our lives the way we want. We want the freedom to wake up when we want. We want the freedom to work on the things that we want. We want the freedom to buy our spouse the things that they want. We want the freedom to send our kids to school where they want. We want the freedom to go to the best doctors that we can. We want the freedom to eat where we want. And we want the freedom to go on vacation wherever we want. It's the freedom that money can buy that most of us are after. Now, if we go a little bit deeper into what is money technically, This is where money can get a little bit confusing. And this goes into a lot of kind of economic concepts that most of the times we're never taught.
Okay.
And this goes into now, what is money? Because money can either be a means of exchange or it can be a store of value. So I'm going to try not to get too technical and too confusing, but what that means is if you had $10,000 worth of cash and you dug this into your backyard today, in 10 years or 20 years, is that $10,000 going to buy you the same stuff that it can buy you today? And the answer is no. Now, why? Well, the answer is because our money, what we think of as money on paper dollars, isn't the best store of value. Our money, what we call money, loses value every single day because of something called inflation. So what we call money isn't the best store of value, but it's a good currency, meaning means of exchange. If you have $10,000 in your hand, you can go to the Apple store, buy a nice MacBook, you can buy a laptop, you can buy, whatever you want to buy because you have that money to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where old money, we'll call it old money, things like physical gold, your traditional money serves a better store of value because it takes time, effort, and labor to mine an ounce of gold. And that representation of that time, effort, and labor is through the physical gold. So the physical gold serves as a better store of value, but it's not a very good means of exchange because now if you go to Lululemon or you go to Apple or you go to Gucci and you walk in with a gold bar and you say, can I buy this? They're going to look at you really confused because they don't know what to do with that. Maybe somebody will take it because they're a little bit financially educated and they'll say, oh yeah, I'll take this. But most people are going to say no.